Hello and welcome to our very first TAGtalk COVID-19 series. My name is Justine Liddelow and I'm the Director of Commercial for TAG, the world's leading entertainment travel company. Throughout this series, I'll be talking to industry leaders from our preferred supplier partners about what effects the coronavirus is having on their business and day-to-day operations, what they're doing to combat these challenges, and some predictions of what the future will look like for our travellers when they start to consider travelling again. Today, I'm excited to welcome a very special guest from one of our top hotel partners, the Four Seasons. Please welcome Mr. Michael Newcombe, the General Manager of the Four Seasons Los Angeles. Welcome, Michael, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Justine, for inviting me. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Michael, I believe you are one of the few hotels that remained open throughout the pandemic. Can you tell us what the deciding factor was to remain open while many other properties closed?
Yes, I must confess to having sleepless nights with this decision. But at the end, it really boiled down to the fact that we had a number of residents who have been here from some of them in excess of 5 years. And we just couldn't see a scenario where we'd say, hey, pack your bags, we're closing down. And there was obviously a pivot on the way that we did services. And we presented it to each one of our residents, and we came up with I felt, an excellent compromise to remain open. So we kept the doors open for them, and also under LA guidelines for what they called essential travel. And so, we fluctuated in business, but it was certainly, a prolonged, quieter period for the hotel.
Yeah, I bet. So we've been in quarantine, can you believe, for 13 weeks now. It's just crazy. So what are some of the challenges over this time you've had to face, and in turn, I guess, the greatest lessons that should give you an advantage over other properties that will be opening shortly and having to face these challenges for the first time?
Yeah, I would, having been involved in openings before for Four Seasons over the years, I was, previously opening general manager, for example, at Four Seasons Hotel Hampshire. Opening a hotel is one of the largest challenges in an industry. And I felt as well an advantage by staying open. We could influence incremental change to our policies. And each day we added something that was part of the build to a safer environment here. So as policy was defined by the brand, for example, we have infrared screening temperature cameras on the door for a month now already. And previously, I think we started manually temperature taking of all guests and employees March the 20th. So we're very accustomed to creating and prolonging this safety bubble through doing it every day now. And some of the challenges, there was a time in the early pandemic, it was almost impossible to get hand sanitizer. I don't know if you remember, every store shelf was empty, and
oh, yes.
We went through with absolute panic then that we were going to remain open and had no wipes and had no hand sanitizer that are fundamental to a business like ours. But we got through it. We have plenty now, and every guest has it in their pocket or travels with it. So, we're back to normal trading, as normal as it can be.
Exactly. Thank goodness for that. So you sort of spoke about this a little bit. So touchless technology is being talked about a lot across the hospitality industries, even greater importance given now with the corona pandemic. So you just mentioned the temperature control. Can you tell us what other sort of technologies Four Seasons have invested in and the functionality?
Yeah, and you raised a good point because, technology played an important part on the hotel arrival and departure experience and the in-house experience pre-COVID. And, the old definition of luxury, the white glove service, someone waiting for you, grab your bag when you arrive and accompany you all around the hotel, into the desk, wait with you, escort you up to the room. That was beginning to change. People want a certain independence. They want to be cared for, but technology platform means that we, as a business now, subject to the guest privacy rights, of course, that we are open for whatever they want to share. And, simple things like pre-arrival information on what time they want to come in, which allows us to get the room ready, the preference of mattress top, believe it or not, we're able to unzip the firmness of the mattress to suit the guest's liking, preference for amenity in the room, food allergies, feather foam, preferences on pillow. All of this is by working in partnership with the guest on technology pre-arrival, and then it's how we influence it. So the moment the guest arrives now, there is a screening on a thermal camera, a security guy, a team who operate the front desk, stand at a distance, and we just make sure that everyone feels we take the hygiene standards seriously here. We want to create this little bubble where everyone feels slightly more comfortable, perhaps, than they would elsewhere. And we do that by offering touch-free service. And I'll give you an example. By understanding the guest movements, we're able to put housekeeper in the room while the guest isn't there. And I think what we've learned is that close proximity, people to people, the 6-foot rule, it also makes people a little less, a little more uncomfortable at the moment. So you'll see signage as you come through the lobby that suggests a 2-person maximum in the elevator. And then you go up to your room and you'll see a letter from us that really talks about the services. It's already pre-sent before arrival. But room service, again, you order, comes to your room. It's your decision as to whether you want it in a bag and you do a modified in-room takeout service, or whether you want us to wheel a full China experience to the door. We've given the guest a lot more opportunities to say, this is how I want to be served in this climate.
Which is fantastic. And the Four Seasons app, which I've had the privilege to use as well, is fantastic because, again, I mean, you were already doing this prior to COVID, you know, you're already steps ahead. But it's great because obviously then, you know, everything's at the touch of a button. You don't have to really see anyone if you really don't want to. You can have conversations and everything. So I think that's really, you're ahead of the game there for sure.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, even as an employee of Four Seasons, when I travel with the brand, you know, I still find it remarkable. You can just flick through 120 hotels. You don't need to be staying. You click on a hotel and you can ask them a random question. Do you serve cappuccinos at 2:30 in the morning, and test them out? You'll get an answer very quickly. And I think it's an incredible information source. And that's the beauty of working with partners like TAG Global, who understand what we strive to be and who we are. And we want to make it easy for you guys to book, frankly, and make your guests and our mutual clients feel comfortable.
Yeah, and trust, those are the types of questions we do get at 2 or 3 in the morning as well. So that's up to myself.
Maybe something stronger, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. So as travel starts to pick up again, you know, because we've been 13 weeks in it, people are getting itchy to get out and travel again. Can you tell our audience what Four Seasons is doing just to build that customer confidence in regards to health and safety? You touched on a lot of it already, but just so they feel comfortable in coming and staying with you again.
Yes, as one of the tenured leaders at Four Seasons, I was honored to ask to serve on the as one committee member on a core global committee that's called Lead with Care. And we are producing policies, procedures, safety guidelines under this global philosophy, which is to make sure that every hotel is operating to extremely strict criteria, and that there is a benchmark of care that we do at Four Seasons. A very simplistic thing, and very, which, you know, highlights our commitment, is that each hotel has to and has already appointed a hygiene officer as a standalone individual. That person will co-chair a hygiene committee with the general manager, myself, and him or herself in partnership to go through this plethora of new standards that are functional, they're non-imposing, but I think they are, and the process has been very well received by guests in the hotels that are open, and employees, of course. It's for both heart of house and front of house experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think with full confidence, people could come back in now and know that they're going to be, well, taken care of as they always would have been, but even more so under these sort of precedents and circumstances. Well, Michael, that's all we got time for today, but thank you again for joining us and sharing such valuable insights. You've been a great wealth of knowledge. And for those listening, if you'd like any further information on the Four Seasons Los Angeles or would like to inquire about any special deals or any of the sanitation procedures, please don't hesitate to contact your local TAG office or visit www.tag-group.com. Until next time, stay safe. And Michael, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Justine, and to all of you in TAG, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you too. Bye for now.
Thank you.